rock, rocking this. So here I am rocking this Alpha jacket right now, and imagine me running up, into the police, and they're like, "Hey, what are you doing?" I'm like, "But can't you see the letters? It's the Divine Nine, bro."
Dude.
And they're like, "Yeah, whatever."
I'm
That, what's
amazed.
that? What's that? A gang? What is that? A gang? The Alpha gang?
Throwing gang signs up.
Yeah, there it is. They're like, "Oh, is that a gang sign?" I thought that meant aloha. Yeah, so the live stream, so it looks like the live stream is coming back up, but you can also check us out if you have not figured this out yet on YouTube as well, and join the party over there. So yeah, man, let me just say that a lot is happening. Right. Well, yeah, please don't tell them. But speaking of all things related to um, black folk and interaction with law enforcement in particular, which often stems from the color of our skin. Yesterday in the Derek Chauvin trial for the murder of George Floyd,
Mm-hmm.
wow, they brought in an expert.
I wouldn't call him an expert, but I mean, I think he's trying to make money off of trying to be supportive of cops right now, and they get to fly him around the country and pay him a lot of money for him to sit up there and to justify all forms of police oppression.
Man, let me tell you, first of all, so the guy spent most of his career in as a cop in Santa Rosa,
Mm-hmm.
which is in the Bay Area. Now, I'm going to pull it up right now. My guess is Santa Rosa may have like 3% black people.
Mm.
Maybe. I mean, seriously, let's see. Dude, literally, I was right.
3% black people?
2.6.
Oh wow.
That's what I said, maybe. It's Santa Rosa. I mean, I'm from the Bay Area, bro. I don't know anybody from Santa Rosa.
Wow.
And it's not one of those cities that growing up in Oakland, it was not one of those places that you wanted to frequent. Beautiful city, but again, it's not one of those places that drew a lot of black people there. And
How big is it?
Santa Rosa is not big, 176,000 people.
Okay, yeah, small.
I mean, in Pennsylvania, that would be probably the second or third largest city.
It'd be the third. Yeah.
I mean, in California, it's probably the 50th.
Right.
Because there's just like a ton of cities that are 100,000 plus, right, in Cali.
Right.
But again, it's nestled in the Bay Area, hidden. And so this guy rolls out. He has testified in 10 other trials, or maybe this is the 10th, but he is typically brought in as an expert on the use of force.
Uh-huh.
Now, after everything the jury has heard to this point,
Yeah.
the defense brings this guy in who admittedly says, look, I don't have no medical degree or nothing. I mean, he didn't say it that way, but that's the way it sounded to me as I heard it. And I bet you that's the way it sounded to a lot of the, jurors. Like, I don't have no medical degree like these fancy smancy people you had last week talking about things like the windpipe and things of that nature. But I'm an expert on force. And when I looked at what Derek Chauvin did, yeah, that was consistent with what policing is today. Now, actually, he's right. And he's wrong.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
He's right that, yes, that's what a lot of cops do. But he's wrong that that's justifiable.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, it sounded so idiotic hearing him talk yesterday with the background of what has happened the 2 weeks leading up to this and the compelling case that the prosecution has made about the use of force. And add to this one last thing. He was also an expert for the defense of former officer Van Dyke in Chicago, who shot and killed Laquan McDonald.
That's right. That's
I
right.
think Laquan McDonald got shot I don't know how many times.
That was like 13 times or something like that. He was on the bridge. Yeah.
He had this clip in him, I believe. And he came out in that case and also said, yeah, justifiable. And just in case you're keeping score, Van Dyke was found guilty of second-degree murder.
Mm-hmm.
So let's hope that this guy is consistent.
You know, I honestly, I can't even begin to imagine. And I mean, I've said this yesterday and the day before. Um, After the testimony of the police chief, and the director of training, and some of the other folk, that seemed like, they have every reason to try to protect this guy and chose not to do that. Some witness from some, Okoyoko town in California coming in to testify about this doesn't seem like it's going to carry a lot of weight.
I mean, did they say whether he was paid or not?
I didn't remember hearing that one way or the other, but I didn't hear the whole testimony.
Well, because the guy who was the pulmonary expert who came and was not paid to be there, who perhaps gave the most damning. I mean, you're right. Maybe you're right. The fact that your own chief comes out and says, no, we don't know him, is probably the most damning. But the second most was that pulmonary expert, the one who like people were talking about. I didn't even understand the windpipe until listening to this guy, and so. Yeah, it sounded like that's the kind of testimony that you would get during the Rodney King trial.
Oh, absolutely.
And so in the 90s, to a group of white folk who were jurors listening to it, it sounded reasonable. In 2021, in the wake of everything that has happened in the last several years, especially the last year, I don't even understand why the defense would even go down that road. I think you actually hurt your case doing that, as opposed to helping your case do it. And so, good, air quotes, good luck with that one.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to pull out. I mean, remember, I said this the other day, right? Like, we have to see who they're going to pull out their hat, right? So they brought out this incident in 2019 of when they pulled over George Floyd, and they were trying to use the ENT in testimony that Floyd had taken, multiple narcotics at that moment as an excuse. They showed a video from that. They also actually had the woman who was in the back seat of the car with Floyd the day that he was killed. She was testifying too. I don't know why they used her as a defense witness. That was a really bad idea. Because basically she said, yeah, we were in the store. He was joking around. He offered to give me a ride. We were sitting in the car for a while. I took we were talking. I took a call from my child. I was on the phone with my child. When the police pulled up, I've been on the phone about 10 minutes, and the police pulled up. George fell asleep. I kept trying to wake George up, telling him, I'm like, so he fell asleep in his car. Who hasn't fallen asleep in their car? Just sitting outside someplace. I've done it. Just waiting for somebody because it's long and I'm tired. And, so they were trying to use her to make all these kind of excuses up. So anyway.
Yeah, listen, somebody said on one of our unpaid intern production assistants for the show, it's just in I think Brody was his name, the quote unquote expert, was paid 11 G's, 11 stacks, $11,000 or so. According to Facebook.
$11,000. I'm in the wrong business.
He just did, again, if I'm a juror, he didn't come across as credible to me. If I'm in that jury box, given everything I've heard, and I've got, right now, this is what you have to do. You're sifting between, expert opinions. The defense is surely going to bring out some, but there's a mountain of evidence, not to mention what you saw with your own eyes.
Yeah,
you saw him on his neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds.
I just don't know what qualifies as an expert. Just because you've been a beat cop, and that's all he was, does not qualify you. Yeah, it does not qualify you as an expert. I'm sorry, it really doesn't.
Dude, Santa Rosa is like, oh my God. I'm trying to think of like the sleepiest town. What's the place down in Delaware County? Media. It's like PA. Literally, it's like Media, but prettier. So it's like the crime, same as Media, which is almost non-existent. Like the fact that the idea that he ever even had to pull his nightstick would be surprising to me, let alone a gun or have to use a use of force. But he's out here making money. I can't be mad at you. Look, it's 6:22 in the morning. We gotta take a quick break.
He saw.
Yeah, you got to take a break. We come back, we'll continue this conversation and talk about J&J. By the way, if you got the J&J vaccine, you don't want to miss this. We'll be right back.
I'm Henry Louis Gates Jr. We are people of resilience. No matter what happens, we fight through the pain. We protect our traditions. We uphold our excellence. So let's protect our lives. With vaccines, we can trust. We can do this.
To learn more about COVID-19 vaccines, visit cdc.gov/coronavirus. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Attention WURD audience, do you know that you can get help with your PICO energy bill? PICO is here to help you with financial help through various assistance programs, including the PICO CAP program, which provides a monthly credit for eligible low-income customers based on the customer's total household gross income and energy usage. If you are experiencing financial hardship, you may qualify for the PICO CAP program.
And PICO Cares is the customer assistance and referral evaluation service designed to assist special needs, low-income customers who have a temporary personal or financial hardship that prevents the payment of your PICO energy bill. If you have a special needs child or adult in your care, your household may qualify for the CARES program.
Call 1-800-774-7040 today to see if you qualify due to an existing situation or a change in circumstances within your household. Call 1-800-774-7040 today for more information on the PICO CAP or PICO CARES program. PICO, powering our communities.
WURD family, the Go to Know campaign for colon cancer is up and running. Go to wordradio.com and click on the Go to Know banner for your free at-home screening test. It's that simple. Click Go to Know and get your test today.
Hi, this is Councilmember Derek Green with new information about COVID vaccines. Soon, all Philadelphians over the age of 16 will be eligible for vaccination. However, you must be registered with the city to get vaccinated. Register today at phila.gov and fill out the vaccine interest form or email covid@phila.gov. If you can't complete the form, call 311 to get registered. Your information is confidential. We all want a healthier, better Philadelphia. Get registered today.
The Mattress Man is a second-generation family-owned mattress specialist business since 1988. Open 7 days a week, located at 7421 Stanton Avenue. The Mattress Man discounts Serta, memory foam, orthopedic, and ComfortTech mattresses every day. You deal directly with the owner, Julian, to ensure you get the best price and best service. The Mattress Man offers same-day delivery on most models to most areas. Ask about the WURD discount. Call 215-424-5550.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent black media.
Welcome back to the Power Hour. This is Dwayne Royster along with Mark Kelly Tyler. We're here Monday through Fridays from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. to bring you the latest in news happenings around Philadelphia and, of course, our opinions. And we have plenty of them, plenty of opinions to share with you each and every day.
We have no opinion.
We have no opinion?
Nah, we're the less, this is the least opinionated show on all of the
the lies.
Yeah, right. Glad to see all of you all hitting Facebook Live and YouTube Live. Hit the share button. I think we worked out the little gremlins this morning. What's up, Craig? Glad to see you as well. You missed our conversation about the Kappas earlier, but there's Sandra. Sandra is a former Kappa sweetheart. She says, good morning. Glad to see you. And glad to see others as well. Good morning, Sheila. And, oh, my goodness. Boy, I tell you. So in staying there in Minnesota for a moment, obviously protests are continuing in the wake of the killing of Dante Wright. And there were some protests here in Philadelphia as well. And this just in from one of the brave souls who swore to serve and protect that region. Sergeant, who went on condition of anonymity from the Minneapolis Police Department, fearing that no matter what the verdict is in the Derek Chauvin trial, the city will erupt.
Absolutely.
He quit.
Wow.
He went on condition, he was anonymous, but he's like, he said, nah, I'm out. I'm tapping out. I'm scared. I'm scared. I'm literally scared that I'll be killed. He said, it doesn't matter. So basically what he's saying is, even if Chauvin is found guilty, he thinks that folk are going to turn up, which I don't agree with.
Oh, actually, I think they are.
No, to burn the city down.
Oh, no. I mean, well, it all depends. If he gets off, that's a totally different story.
Well, yeah, of course, if he gets off. But I'm saying, he's saying that even if he is found guilty of murder in the second degree, that they're going to still burn the city down.
No, they're not going to burn the city down then, no. That's just overreacting.
Well, right. But I'm like, this dude quit. I'm like, see, this is what I'm talking about.
Right.
Let me just say, I'm telling you, man, a lot of these folk who are in this profession are there for the paycheck. And it's not a calling. It's not a vocation. And that's why you can stand on, lean on somebody's neck until they die. That's why you can shoot somebody within 10 seconds as opposed to trying to save them or stop them in another kind of way. That's why. And so you got a guy where when your city needs you the most.
Right, he's rolling out.
And you're a sergeant. You're not a rookie. You got some, you got rank, you got some commitment and skin in the game, and you're literally going to say that you're going to quit because you're afraid for your life? Yeah, man, what a brave guy or woman. They didn't say male or female.
Yeah,
but
they are anonymous. They are a part of the anonymous sect.
I mean, man, what a coward.
Yes.
It's like, like being a soldier, you're like, here comes the enemy. It's like, this is a good time to put my retirement papers in. I didn't know you actually had to fight.
Well, I mean, there was a whole period of time when folk, in the military, we were not fighting any wars, and they had to go do what they had. Folk got out before they actually saw any time.
Good God.
In a war zone.
But this is, so listen, and the reason I bring this up is, in all honesty, this is what, a lot of these people who are out here, I said this yesterday, they mask their fear in symbols of outward strength.
Mm-hmm.
So you see the ones with all the tats, the Ray-Bans, yoked up off steroids. Just looking like you super hard, but really you're like kind of afraid. Because Absolutely. When I see a lot of the stuff that folk do, it's like, bro, you look at Dante Wright, he's like, what, like
50 pounds?
$150?
If he weighs that much.
Like, excuse me, put the taser gun away and let me just snatch him out this front seat.
That's right. It's a problem. It's a real problem. So I hear you on that. We got a whole problem with the whole system of policing that we've really got a lot of work to do on, and we got to figure out how to dismantle it and build something that actually is worthwhile, that actually works for our people and stops killing us. Yeah. Because, again, I go back to Brooklyn Center. How do you know that the Chauvin trial is going on 30 miles down the road and you shoot somebody? I don't understand it.
Well, I do. I like I said, I honestly think that, again, that's that fear that I was just literally talking about. Fear makes you do things that don't make sense. That was man, I'm going to tell you, and the way when I've been reading the comments of friends on Facebook and what have you, I'm convinced a lot of folk have just not watched the video. And I understand why you would not want to watch the video. It's troubling, and it's hard to watch somebody get shot. But that being said, if you've seen the video, then it happens so absolutely fast that, it's from the time he gets away from the officer who's trying to handcuff him and things are kind of calm to the time he is shot. I tried to count it. It literally cannot be more than 11 seconds. If I stopped and just literally stopped for about 11 seconds right now, you'd be like, whoa. And that's the full time. That means that when she pulled her gun out, it was only from the time she pulled the gun out and shot, it was maybe 8 seconds altogether. 8 to 7. So you're not talking about there's a lot of time that, unfolded and happened in this, the way in which, I think the way, if you haven't seen it, your imagination probably makes you think there was plenty of time, and it's like they could have had a conversation and somebody could have seen the gun, told her, oh, put that gun away. The other two cops are so focused on him, trying to get him out of the seat, they probably don't even see that she's got a gun drawn, talking about taser, taser, taser. They're thinking he's going to hit the gas, drive off, and drag them all down the street, which is a reasonable assumption given what's going down in those 10 seconds. It's her fear. It's that fear. And that fear of black people is killing us. What can we do to like help folk overcome that fear? I don't know, maybe go to college, pledge a fraternity, sorority, join the military, walk around in our uniform, and become very respectable. And then maybe then they'll say, oh, this is one of the good ones. Oh, never mind. I'm sorry. That doesn't work either. that happened, Virginia. That happened to the Kappa in Virginia. All those respectability points and still gets pepper sprayed for his trouble. I guess the Virginia cops who did that probably saying to him like, dude, you're lucky we didn't shoot you. Sadly, they're right. And wrong.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, he didn't do anything wrong. Just driving with a brand new car. Did you, I posted this thing on Facebook, and let me see if I can pull this up without totally blowing the show off. There we go. That actually my wife had posted, and then I posted it yesterday, and so I just want to read this. It's copied from another site. I don't know who put this all together, but this was really powerful. It says, I need to drive my 2-year-old to daycare tomorrow morning. To ensure we arrive alive, we won't take public transit. Oscar Grant. I removed all air fresheners from the vehicle and double-checked my registration status, Dante Wright, and assured my license plates were visible, Lieutenant Karen Razio. I will be careful to follow all traffic rules, Philandio Castile. Signal every turn, Sandra Bland. Keep the radio volume low, Jordan Davis. And won't stop at a fast food chain for a meal, Rayshard Brooks. I'm too afraid to pray, Reverend Clemente C. Pinckney, so I just hope the car won't break down, Corey Jones. When my wife picks me up at the end of the day, I'll remind her not to dance, Elijah McClain, stop to play in the park, Tamira Rice, patronize the local convenience store for snacks, Trayvon Martin, or walk around the neighborhood, Mike Brown. Once they are home, we won't stand in our backyard, Stephon Clark, eat ice cream on the couch, Botham John, or play any video games, Atiana Jefferson. After my wife and I tuck him in bed around 7:30 p.m., neither of us will leave the house to go to Walmart, John Crawford, or to the gym, Traysad Oates, or jog, Ahmaud Arbery. We won't even walk to see birds, Christian Cooper. We'll just sit and try not to breathe, George Floyd, and not to sleep, Breonna Taylor. These are things white people simply do not have to think about.
Wow. Did somebody get credit for writing that, or is that anonymous?
It just says author unknown. It's a powerful piece, though.
Oh. Wow.
Powerful piece.
Yeah, powerful and real.
That's
powerful and real.
That is, and you think that, it is our subconscious that this actually does play out at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
This actually plays out in our daily interactions, whether we do it at a conscious level or a subconscious level, but this stuff does get down in our psyche at some point. Yeah,
and they left off or take out the trash. Story last week, remember?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Taking out the garbage in California and, left his ID in the house.
Yeah. And they were trying to harass and arrest him. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so you can find that on Bishop's page, Dwayne Royster, and share that out.
S-T-E-R, because most people say Royster. It's E-R, S-T-E-R, R-O-Y-S-T-E-R.
They know what it is. You have to tell them that Royster. And they look. This group is fluid in Ebonics and the King's English.
Yes.
Just like Prince Philip.
Oh, please don't get started with Prince Philip.
Sorry.
You know, that's just justified
Jesus.
racism right there.
Well, yeah, but I mean, you know, think about it. You know, he is a part of all of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it goes from the benign, we're just laughing about it, to more serious, which is all the stories that you just lifted up in that anonymous piece that was written, and that it's all a part of the same narrative. And yeah, I mean, you know, wow. So listen,
I just stuck it in the Facebook feed, by the way.
Okay, great. So it's in the feed, and you have a chance to check it out.
Did you do the shock music yet? I'm just curious.
Oh, you see a sighting? Can you play that for us, Kawesa? I think we see something in the water. We're waiting. Once she gets it, we'll deal with it. Yeah, those royal creeps, she says, Renee, she said they look like they drink blood. Ooh.
Oh, wow. That's deep.
Is that how you make it to 99?
Well, it could be. I don't know.
I don't know. But yeah, man, it's tough. In Philadelphia news, University of Pennsylvania Museum. I know some of the young folk who were protesting. I couldn't get out there with them the other day, but tried to connect them to some resources. Abdul Ali, some of you all may know here in the city, young activist, led a group effort, and they were calling for the repatriation of bones of black folk that have been on display at the University of Pennsylvania Museum. Yeah. Penn relented, said, it's time to give up them black bones.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, maybe we get one of them on the show to talk about it. And but yeah, so they reached out like over the weekend, and apparently had a really good action. But that's actually in the news this morning here in Philly, that they are releasing the bones. And I think, you know, reparations ought to be next, but let's start there with the bones. I don't know, where do you even repatriate them to?
Yeah, I mean, you have to know where they came from. I mean, and I guess is Penn also paying for a burial for those bones?
Of course, it's Penn. They got the money.
Well, you know, but it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to pay for the bones to be released and to be buried.
So Clarice said from Derby. I'm not sure where they came from, but yeah. So these bones of our ancestors are coming out of University of Pennsylvania's museum, and you know, again, this is just another very important move in trying to correct a long series of wrongs and things that have just been taken for granted for so very long. And you know, while I'm concerned about that, I'm also concerned about not just the past, but like the future of institutions like Penn and Temple and Drexel, and the ways in which their footprints, you know, like other universities and cities, are reshaping black communities in ways that are not necessary. If you talk to the folk who live in those neighborhoods, like around Temple, for example, with stadium stompers, they'd be the first to tell you, like, yo, I mean, Temple, you know, in some ways lost their mind and is trying to build like this massive kingdom at the expense of the folk who've been there. And so, you know, we also have to talk about that. And when will the massive spread begin to benefit others? I mean, setting up one charter school where people have to, like, you know, participate in a lottery to play your kid in and pray to God and do a rain dance to hope that you get the winning ticket is not enough.
That's right.
It's not enough. And so, look, we got to take a quick break. It's 6:41. Thanks. Somebody just posted it there. Judge McKay, appreciate that. The story about the Penn Museum, if you're looking for it, it's in our Facebook Live chat. Hit the share button, bring others in. And again, if you got the J&J vaccine, by now I'm certain that you've heard the news, but right now that is on pause. And if you are a woman between the ages of 18 and roughly 50, definitely start looking up, you know, things about blood clots, and be careful. While there is a low risk, it is better to be safe than sorry in this moment. We'll talk a little bit more about that on the other side of the break. This is the Power Hour.
Hi, this is John.
Hi, this is Juanita, owners of JD's Auto Body and Painting. We're located at 6300 Wayne Avenue, right there at the intersection of Wayne and Washington Lane.
We really like to thank all you WURD listeners for the support that you've given our business, and we really hope to see you in the future.
JD, tell them about our products and services we have.
We have a new state-of-the-art paint shop along with our body shop and detail shop. We can help you with the dents and scratches from the winter season.
Come to JD's Auto Body and Painting. Come on out and check us out. We're still honoring that WURD 10% discount. Give us a call, 215-848-5949. Again, 215-848-5949.
Thanks again for supporting our business. We really appreciate you.
See you at JD's Auto Body and Painting.
Okay, Her's new fire potato chips and cheese curls, they are spicy. Whew, they're hottest snacks yet. Hold on. Whew. But you know, it's not just heat. There's some nice sweet and savory stuff going on too. Ooh, there's that heat again. It burns, but it burns so tasty. Ooh, that's hot. Find Her's Fire Snacks at your store today. Whew. Taste the flavor, feel the heat, break out the Her's.
All Philadelphians deserve safe, healthy, and thriving neighborhoods. Yet communities are being torn apart by both mass incarceration and community violence. Tune in Monday, April 19th on Reality Check with Charles Ellison at 10 a.m. to join 215 People's Alliance, Councilmember Kendra Brooks, Pastor of the Hood Carl Day, and others to discuss how to build a Philadelphia where all members of every community can access the resources needed to heal and thrive.
You probably heard it before, but one of the best ways to stay safe from COVID is by avoiding crowds. That's better. Also, when you're out in public, make sure you stay 6 feet away from strangers or people you don't live with. It's okay to say, "Can I have some space, please?"
Well, it's going to be a beautiful sunny day today, and we can expect much.
If you're gonna have a get-together with friends and family, have it outside. And remember to keep those 6 feet of social distance. And last but not least, wear a mask that covers your nose and mouth with no gaps. They slow the spread of COVID or new forms of the virus called variants. And make sure you get your vaccine when it's your turn. We're all out here trying our best, and it's making a difference. We just gotta keep it up. We can do this.
To learn more about slowing the spread, visit cdc.gov/coronavirus. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Now, a traffic update on WURD Radio.
Good morning. This report sponsored by America's Best Contacts and Eyeglasses. Getting busy 95 southbound Cotman down through Bridge and Allegheny through Girard. Northbound looks good. Westbound Vine Lake Parkway through the Schuylkill Expressway. Schuylkill westbound getting jammed. King of Prussia out to 202 left lane blocked because of that ongoing sinkhole repair. Southbound Boulevard Route 1. You're going to find some slowing there from Broad down through Fox through that construction zone. 295 northbound getting busy in the area 42. Right lane there blocked because of ongoing emergency work. 55 north building north of Deptford in the 42. Don't overpay for glasses. Get 2 pairs and a free exam for just $69.95. The exam alone is worth $50. That's not just a better deal. It's America's Best. Book your exam online today. In certain states, eye exams are provided by independent ophthalmologists. See stores for details. For more traffic information, log on to sigalert.com. Jim Bachman with your Philadelphia area traffic.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, independent black media.
Welcome back to the Power Hour. This is Dwayne Royster along with Mark Kelly Tyler. WURD Radio, in partnership with the Colorectal Cancer Alliance, Independence Blue Cross Foundation, Penn Medicine, and LabCorp have teamed up to launch Go to Know. Go to Know is a new public health campaign to reduce colorectal cancer in the black community. Request your free, easy, at-home colorectal cancer screening test called a FIT kit. The FIT kit is designed to provide early detection of colorectal cancer. The FIT test doesn't require any fasting or colon cleanses, and it can be done in a matter of minutes. Most importantly, you'll learn how to make sure you and your family members can stay well and live a long, healthy life. Go to wordradio.com and click on the Go to Know banner or call 1-877-422-2030 to learn how you can get your free at-home fit kit screening test. Please, family, get the test. Find out, go to know, so that you can learn about your health and that you're able to support your family and friends with the knowledge you need to take care of yourself.
Man, let me tell you, this story about Penn. So this was, it's, in the Morton Museum. Dr. Samuel George Morton, he of the early 19th century, was known for, he was one of those persons who believed in believed that you could demonstrate that whites were superior to blacks by analyzing the size of a skull, a human skull. So that's why he needed these skulls lying around to reinforce and prove white supremacy.
Wow.
Yeah. He died in 1851.
So he was a eugenicist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. I don't think you can cuss on air though, but yeah. And so
I didn't cuss.
I'm not going to repeat what you just said.
I said eugenicist.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you said something else.
No. I said eugenicist. Yes. Jeez. Go ahead, FCC breathing down my neck. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Yeah, and so right, so he believed that scientifically you could prove that one race was superior than another, and so back then, if you remember, people probably grew up remember seeing those images with the little 19th century rulers that were used to measure the skulls and to prove by brain size. Crazy, but I'm thinking about the connection, the leap between that. So he was operating, during Richard Allen's lifetime, founder of Mother Bethel, who was born in 1760, died in 1831. And then you go to Prince Philip, who was born in 1922 or so, right? 1921, 1922.
Absolutely.
Who was raised by people who were heavily influenced by that kind of teaching, and, who made jokes about Aboriginals still throwing spears at each other, or Nigerian, royalty looking like they're dressed ready for bed, or for the slanted eyes of, Asians in Hong Kong and other places like that. And you then fast forward it even further to the ways in which, we're still seeing this lived out now in real time through law enforcement interactions and all these other things that, this is so deeply rooted, is my point. And that two of the areas that we often forget that had some of the greatest influence over the ways in which we understand race today are institutions that you probably wouldn't think, but it was science and religion.
Absolutely.
And at one point, that was the same department.
Yes.
By the 1800s, they had kind of diverged, but you go back a couple hundred years before, the great scientists were, priests and preachers.
That's frightening.
Think about this, right? So the influence that they had, because you talk to white folk today, especially people who still subscribe to this stuff, and they'll spout all this crazy stuff. It's like, where'd you get that? From Dr. Morton.
The eugenics movement.
You better pronounce that slowly and carefully.
The eugenics movement was actually the dominant science theory for a long time, used to justify slavery and used to justify Jim Crow and a bunch of other things, and basically was really the basis for most of the white supremacist teaching and understanding that we have, not just in the United States, but in the world.
Mm-hmm.
It's very frightening. Speaking of...
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, can we get the music now, please? Because Nick is over here having a field day on Facebook.
Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Uh-oh. If you hear that noise, there's a shark in the water. That means early in the morning. That's a Nick Talaferro sighting. Your show is called Evening Words with Nick, not morning words. Go back to bed, get some rest. You got a long day ahead of yourself, and you got a show to do later. Don't have us controlling you later today, because it'll be 4 o'clock. We don't have anything else to do. All our stuff is done. We just sit there for 2 hours, 3 hours, taking you down, son. A little DMX in there for you, son. Nick is a trip, man.
Yes.
He likes coming on our show.
Good colleague. Good colleague.
Good colleague. Check his show out. Evening Words with Nick, Monday through Friday, 4 o'clock on the hour. Hey, again, this J&J story. Do you know anybody who's taking the J&J vaccine?
I heard about somebody who took it the other day. They were fine, but I mean, they've only had 6 cases, which is good. I mean, but it's just this rare blood clot thing. They did have 1 death though. There was 1 death from it.
6 out of right. So these 6 cases,
millions of shots that have done. Yeah.
6 million.
Yeah.
So why stop? So why stop? I mean, that sounds like. I mean, so 1 in every million, seems like, I guess if you talk about acceptable risk, and, it's easy for me to say, but it seems like an acceptable risk. Have they talked about why then they would actually pause it? Because it doesn't seem like there's always some kind of side effect for like a small group of people. Have they talked at all about that?
I think they're just doing it out of abundance of caution. The term that they're using is an abundance of caution. I think the problem is the clots were showing up in people who are otherwise healthy, so they have to go back and investigate exactly why this is happening. And it actually was mostly women it was showing up in too. It was not showing up in men. It was mostly women that were showing up with the clots. And it showed up 6 to 13 days after the vaccination. So it wasn't showing up immediately. It was a few days afterwards. So they need to go back and do some more studying and figure out what's going on.
Well, that's certainly going to have an impact on the timeline. I was on a call yesterday. There's an attempt to do an all-faith vaccination weekend somewhere around Memorial Day, and a big effort where, like, just again, Christians, Jews, Muslims, and others trying to pull together like some big effort. And so the people from the city, that's actually what they said. They were like, look, we woke up this morning thinking we had good news for you, but now we just lost a significant amount of our supply, and we honestly can't tell you what we're going to have for you in 6 weeks from now. But we're hoping that this will be resolved and moving forward. So this is a fluid moment. And but again, I just simply say, especially those of you who are listening, if you've had the J&J vaccine, just monitor yourself carefully and don't take things for granted. We're not medical people. This is just like what I would tell you if you were in my congregation on a Sunday. As we say, govern yourself accordingly.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Well, look, everybody, that is it for today. We appreciate you joining us here on the Power Hour. We'll be back tomorrow morning from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. to bring you the latest in news happenings around Philadelphia. And, of course, our opinion. Thank you, Reverend Tyler, for everything you do. Thank you, Kawesa, for holding down the boards and keeping everything straight and orderly inside the studio. Thank you, Nick, for stalking us and lurking on us once again as we do our show in the morning. Stay tuned now for Wake Up with Word with Solomon Jones. And listen, family, go out, change the damn world, because if you don't, nobody else will. Peace.
Oh,